Now, the International Church of Cannabis. Now, for those of you who don't know what the International Church of Cannabis is, it's basically a church where people can go smoke weed. Basically, it's basically those who love to smoke weed and at the same time who are spiritual and religious. You know, you don't have to believe in Jesus, or you don't have to believe in God. It's basically whatever higher being you believe in. You know, that's where a group of people who love to smoke weed, they go and you know, they worship a higher being. They elevate. The name of the ministry that basically run the church is Elevation Ministries, and basically the theme is, you know, you elevate. You know, the weed takes you to a higher level, and you know, whatever being you basically believe in, you know, you just go there, smoke weed, get high, and worship basically whatever higher being you believe in. When you elevate, it's not a church full of it don't discriminate against religions. They're non-denominational. I mean, of course they're non-denominational if it's a church where you're allowed to smoke weed. But there's a lot of issues and, you know, controversies that surrounding this church, mainly the West Washington Park neighbors, because many are addressing concerns of parking, smelling of weed in the neighborhood, and a lot of noise. Because the big issue is the neighbors don't want a weed church in their neighborhood. I guess a lot of them are scared. They fear that their clean neighborhood will turn into a place full of junkie hippies, basically. They also fear that the church will draw in probably criminals, you know, probably drug dealers, you know, people who like to sell weed in the black market. But one thing I can tell you right now, that the selling of weed is not allowed at that church. And I went to their grand opening. on 420, and there was no selling of weed there. You know, so back to the issue though. The neighbors don't want a weed church in their neighborhood. I guess that's a neighborhood full of conservatives or whatever it is, but a lot of people are addressing all kind of concerns, and it's just out of anger and fear. The anger is that there's a lot of people in that neighborhood who don't want their community to be connected with the marijuana industry. And then the people who are scared, they fear that it's going to bring certain groups of people in that neighborhood, like junkie hippies, you know, possibly homeless people, you know, drug dealers, those type of people. But the thing is, you have to get over that, because this is the state of Colorado, and the state of Colorado is different from other states. So when it comes to marijuana, you know, having a marijuana church, that may be normal in Colorado. Well, of course, it won't be normal in other states. So people just got to get over it and just give the church a chance. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they'll act responsible. Let's see if they will have a clean act. And the church hasn't even been around for long, and people are already drawing all kind of concerns just out of fear. People just need to relax and wait and see what will happen. The residents of West Washington Park are not giving the International Church of Cannabis a chance to prove that they are civil. Many fear that crime will spike in the neighborhood. The leader, Steve Burke, he hit the nail right on the coffin. He said, "We have a First Amendment right to practice our religion within our church and our walls." He said, "If you question that, we reserve the right to take you to court." Now this court and lawsuit stuff, I think Steve Burke, you really need to relax from that. Let's not take this too far now. Your church just starting to get established, and you want to have a clean relationship with the community. You don't want to be in a situation where you're fighting back and forth in civil cases against the community. I really don't think that's not a good idea. At the same time, the citizens need to relax and give this church a chance. Let's see how responsible the church will act. Now, I don't live in the West Washington Park neighborhood, but it looks like a real civil, relaxed type of neighborhood. I've been there a couple of times, and it's pretty decent. It's clean. The people who live in that community, they take care of it really well. Just give this church a chance. Let's just see what happens. Give it 1 year. 1 year, that's not enough. Give it a good 4 years. Let's see what happens in 4 years. And if this church is not being responsible, if they're not acting responsible, then you can, find some kind of boycott to get it out your neighborhood. But like I said, I went to the grand opening on 420 weekend, and the people there are civil. It's not a place full of junkies. It's not a place full of hippies just getting high off of weed. Yes, they do smoke in the church, but it's a lot of civilized people who basically they're smoking weed and relaxing, basically. And of course, they're elevating. That's what it's all about. The citizens need to relax and give this church a chance. And Steve Burke does not need to get emotional, threatening to take people to court. Seriously, it does not need to go that far. That's just a brief taste of the Collard Green Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube page and be the first to listen to new weekly episodes.